Hi guys, welcome back to this channel. So in this video, what I'm going to show you is how to put the railings on this bow of the ship. So what I've done is to create this curve, which I'm going to create again. So I'll just delete that curve. That's a single line there. So I'm just going to select the base and double click on that corner of the ship. So I'm going to deselect these two and then Shift D and move it upwards, and then tab into edit mode. So press P and separate this from the main ship. So what we're doing is that we're creating something that aligns with the curvature of the bow, which is this set of vertices. So if I tap into edit mode, you see it's a set of vertices. We're going to convert it into curve. So before I convert it to a curve, or rather let's convert it to a curve first. So I'm just going to go to object and select convert and choose curve. So it's not a curve because now if you come here, you see the curve properties. So what I'll do is tap into edit mode and select this point here. Shift S, cursor selected, because we want to place the center of origin at that point for the curve. So I'm just going to go to object, origin to 3 cursor. So that's the origin of the curve there. So what I'm going to do is go into top view, and I want to delete this half of the curve. So I'm going to go down to the point where I can see them separated. So I think that's the last bit there. So I'm going to press dot to go into the center of origin, and then I'll press Shift A and add a cylinder. Make sure your cylinder is 16 vertices. We don't want too much geometry. And then tab into edit mode and S. Go into side view. So it's a bit high. So what I'll do is I'll tap into object mode and bring it down, and GZ bring it down. So it's a bit too far from the side of the ship. So I'm going to go into top view and move it into the right place. I'll go into solid view so I can see the top of the ship. So if I go from the side, I'll see it's just out here. So I'll go into top view and G and move it into here, which works. And then next thing I'll do is I'll make sure I apply all the transforms. So Ctrl A, apply scale, add an array, modify. It duplicates it along the x-axis at first, but what you can do next is to add a curve modifier. And then when you select this and then go to curve modifier and select the curve, tap the dot key, it's going to come down here. So now you see it's now properly laid. So what I'm going to do is increase this by 1.5 for instance. So spread it out a bit. So I'm going to just go move it out a bit. So you can see it's spread it out. So it's supposed to actually start from here. So now I'm just going to move this, increase this a bit. So what I'm going to do next is work with the edit copy of this. Go into edit mode and select the top there. Tap to go into that spot, and then Shift S, and first of all probably delete the face, X and delete the face. Go into vertex mode and select vertex and Shift S, cursor selected, and then Shift A, mesh sphere, reduce the sphere to that side, press T to go to the side, go into wireframe mode, delete this lower side, and X to delete the vertex. So I think we've created an extra sphere, so I'm just going to delete this bigger one. Then we have that sphere there. The other thing we want to do is the bars that connects this, we'll probably just build it in now. So I'll just go into, click on this, Shift A, and add a cylinder as well again, and S, bring that down, and RY 90, and come closer. S, bring it down a bit more, G, and bring it up here. Press 7 to go to the top, make sure it's aligned, S, which is smaller, G, and let's go into wireframe mode. So make sure it's in the side of the other one, up a bit, and then so I'm just going to press GZ and bring it up. So it's quite close there. And then GY and hold the shift key so it's slow. And then next thing I will do is tap into, select the face, extrude again, E, and then I think that's long enough. Then I want to add some look cuts in there, 6. Next thing I want to do is Ctrl L, Shift D, and duplicate that and put another one below here. It should be fine. So when I tap into object mode, you see that this is what it looks like. This is what we're going to duplicate across the curve. So now I'm going to enable the curve modifier again, and then when we look at this, we'll see that it's already aligning this along the curve. So what we'll do is to reduce the offset. Yep. So let's go a bit closer, and then so you can see the way it's covered because of the loop cuts that we applied. So I'm going to make it 0.9. Yep. So what we need to do now is just duplicate this. I'm just going to put 25 there. It's quite close, but let's add some more, 20, 35. But one thing we want to do is go as well, curve this along here. So let's look for the curve. I just select the curve and then go into top view. I'll go into wireframe mode, tap into edit view, select that point and press E and move it, hold the shift key so it follows a line, release. And then what you now notice is that when we come here in object view, we can now select this and it will follow that line to the end of the curve. So I'll stop it here because we want to create a stairway, 2 stairways down here. But what you can now do is you can use a mirror modifier, duplicate this across both sides. But this is what it looks like at the moment. So I'm going to add a material first before we duplicate it. So I'm going to select this and then select material and choose a new material. We're going to go with something silver like. I'll bring this down, make it metallic and reduce the roughness. So when I go into cycles render, it looks a bit like what we want to model. So the other thing you could do is select the railings and then go back to the modifier tab and add a mirror modifier. Let's type mirror and it's mirrored to the other side. So what you see now is the railings. You see what it looks like? The railings are now on the ship, and if I go a bit close to the railings, you see what the reflections look like. So in this video I've shown you how to be able to create the railings. So in next video what we'll do is to create stairways from this upper deck to lower deck, where you can actually go down and explore several areas here. So thanks for watching and see you in the next video.